of remarks that I prepared for you today. Anyways, I call my presentation Art Deals with the Past, and my aim is to present and prove the capacity of art to contribute to the peace building, as well as to reinforce the connection between socially responsible art and transitional justice and or historical dialogue processes. As Refik said, starting point for analyzing this topic and creating this organization where I work was the problem of bringing transitional justice discourse out of the closed circles of human rights organizations, often drawn by traditional methods of advocacy. So we shared the impression that activities such as seminars, conferences, panel discussions, organization of summer school camps, courses and workshops end up as preaching to the converted. If we take in consideration the case of Serbia, after almost 15 years of activism advocating coming to the terms with the past, and after 20 years of applying at least one functioning mechanism of transitional justice, being that international and national criminal proceedings, the fact is that research show disappointing results in relation to the public knowledge and understanding or accepting the war crimes committed in Srebrenica, Prijedor, Ovčara, Kosovo, Sarajevo. So I would say the well-known cases of Sarajevo siege and genocide in Srebrenica, in the views of the respondents of the in Serbia, in this poll undertaken by Belgrade Center for Human Rights in 2010, shows that only up to 13% of respondents know that siege lasted for more than 3 years in Sarajevo, while 20% even claim that Sarajevo has never been under the siege. When asked what happened in Srebrenica in 1995, 30% of respondents in total replies there was a massacre. The term genocide against Muslims or Bosniaks is used only by 1.4% of respondents. So the question how to address this broad audience and initiate a social dialogue and contribute to the social change raised again. We in Artifact, and I personally as artist and a human rights activist, I answer by art. So the power of art has been recognized by human rights defenders and advocates who emphatically cannot and will not ignore the global shift towards a visual culture. The significance of film or image in general as information source is increasing. Images have the power to break through the indifference. This is the explanation why the Amnesty International, leading international human rights one of the leading organizations, established its own human rights film festival, and similar festivals have been also established by Human Rights Watch, which is kind of a proof that a certain part of the human rights scene recognize the power of art to tear away compassion fatigue or stretch our world and inspire empathy, as described by Susan Sontag, for example. The cultural practice in the region of Western Balkan confirms that art performs its part in strategies to reduce prejudices and stereotypes, protesting against injustices. Certain orders are more or less explicitly directed towards an objective to contribute to the peace-building, conflict resolution, and relation normalizations. Film and theater production, art exhibitions, and street performances, as described in Arnaud's presentation, have accomplished various tasks, from educating and sensitizing audience to denouncing crimes and violence, although it might have not been the first intention of the authors. Some theoreticians also promote the fact that art can be utilized to explore the alternative processes of transitional justice, opening up public debate about the best way to achieve transitional justice via exploring temporal complicacy of the process. So this was a quotation from the recently published volume called The Arts of Transitional Justice, which is kind of additional proof that this topic is getting more and more academical attention, which I consider very encouraging. Throughout the work of regional filmmakers, and just to name some, I will mention Jasmila Žbanić and her film Grbavica, which explored the relationship of a mother and child born after the war rape in Bosnia, which was kind of a topic unknown for both international and Bosnian audience, or documentaries made by Boro Kontić, Aldin Arnautović, or Refik himself, Alen Drljević, Šeki Radončić, Lazar Stojanović. We had a chance to learn about often denied and neglected facts of the recent past.